Hi, I hope I'm audible to everyone. Quick response in the chat section if I am. Okay. All right then. How are you guys? Good? Hello to you too. How are you guys? Good? Good. Great. Cool. It's good to be cool because it's too hot these days, you know? So it's good to be cool. Nice. Very nice. Hmm. Anyone from North, by the way? I'm I have no words how I am. Like, it's been hectic. I got it. I got your question. We'll do that. Hyderabad. I am in Hyderabad these days. Yeah, it's very hot here. Anyone who's from the north, by the way? Anyone who's from the north? Like from the north India. Jaipur. Jaipur, yeah. Maharashtra is definitely not in north. Delhi, nice. Delhi, nice. Uh, uh I am around like high tech city. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a good area. It's a nice area. My office is here, so yeah. Okay, before we go around and do something, you know, these discussion will do that at the end of the session. If we have any doubts, first let's get around to the doubt and then we'll move ahead. है ना? So let's go to the VS Code. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And let's go to Chrome. By the way, anyone here from like who's like nearby to like Delhi or something, like Delhi or maybe Uttarakhand or anyone? Yeah, that we'll do today most probably. We'll do events and stuff. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a lot of stuff today in the JS, you know. So first, let's talk about the doubts. Huh? Doubts batao pehle, fatafat. Let's start with the doubts first. Doubts. Just a second. Just a second. Okay. अरे यार. Copy this out. Copy this out. अरे. ओ ऐसे मत करो यार. Please don't do that. You know, because you're wasting your own time. Chalo, shall we start? Shall we start? Shall we start? Shall we start? Okay, chalo, nice. Uh, let's start with the recap. है ना? Let's start with what we have done. Let's typically start with DOM. So in the DOM, oh, did you? I didn't see that. I definitely didn't see that. I definitely will today, like for sure. For sure. I'll have a look on it. Sorry, by the way, sorry. है ना? चलो. Shall we start? Start करें? Today's session is going to be something that you should never miss. And the reason is that because we'll be having a lot of things to cover out in DOM. And we'll have a look on DOM in very, very detail. Not exactly very detailed, because DOM typically I typically take a lot of time when I'm teaching somebody DOM. I take a week around to actually tell them everything. But let's see how much could be covered out in the session. I typically will be telling you a lot of different stuff, but let's see. Somebody was asking me something related to like if and else kind of like situation. What was it? Can you like please tell that to me again? We'll quickly take that out and then we'll move ahead to DOM. Quickly. We do not have much time. You want to print good afternoon. Okay, so yeah, we can do that. So if let's take a constant. Got it. Recap कर लेते हैं अभी थोड़ी देर में, है ना? So let's quickly take on to this route and then we'll move ahead, है ना? So let's clear out the console and let's say good evening. Let's say we have a constant time, है ना? And let's say the time is let's say the time is 10, and let's take one more thing. Let's say const AM PM, है ना? Or maybe let's take it AM PM and let's keep it AM as of now. Okay, or maybe AM as of now. All right. Now we can come down here. We can first of all check whether it's an AM or a PM. So if let's say if AM PM is equals to AM, either then something we could do, or we could just come here else. In this else part, we are only going to cater the PM wala part, है ना? So this is the case, right? So here we'll cater out the AM part and down we'll cater out the PM part. So if time is greater than 12 and time is, let's say, less than what could we take out here? Let's say if the time is AM, so either it could be 12 AM, 1 AM, 2 AM, 3 AM, up till let's take it let's take it 11, let's say. No, if the time is going to be less than, no, yeah, we'll do that. No, you'll have to do it like this way, double and, so that would do the job. And if let's say we have time which is either, no, so in case of, so let's take it this way. Let's take the time in either 12, 13, 14, let's take it 24, right? So let's take it 24, let's take it 24. So can you like put the link of the YouTube channel out there so that other people could go around and access? If somebody could do that, that would be great. So let's not take on to this AM PM anymore. So if let's say if time is greater than 24, we'll just come here and say do something. We'll do something. Else we are just going to say console log invalid time, है ना? And in this case we could just come out here if the time is greater than so 1 से लेकर it's going to be 12. Yeah, so 1 to, let's take it 12. If time is greater than or equals to 12, no, just greater than 12. Oh no, if the time is less than 12, so we're just gonna say console log, we're just going to say good morning, है ना? Then we can just come here else if the time is exactly 12, we could just come out here and say console log good noon, है ना? Else if time is greater than greater than 12 and time is less than, let's take it, let's take it, mm, 12 to greater than 12 to, let's say 5 or 6, 12, let's take it, let's take it 6. So 6 I believe is going to be 18, है ना? Yeah, so we can just come here and say log good evening, oh sorry, good afternoon, else if the time, if it's greater than 18 and the time is less than, let's take it 10, right? So 10 is going to be, I believe it's going to be 22, है ना? It's going to be 22. Or maybe let's take it 24, like the whole complete day. We can just come out here and just say good night, right? So we'll just call this good night. Good night. Okay. So this would do the job. If I'll save this, this should typically say no, why is it saying invalid time? Save invalid time. If I said time is greater than, oh, it should be less than 24. Save. So it should be good morning, right? If let's say I'm gonna keep it 12, exactly 12, then it should be good afternoon, right? And if I keep it, let's say 13, this should give me good afternoon. And if let's suppose it's 16, this should give me good afternoon itself. If I keep it 18, so we have not catered the case for 18, right? So if the time is greater than or equals to 18, this would do the job. It would be good night. Or rather, if we could just take it, if it's less than or equals to 18, then it should be good afternoon. We haven't kept something for good evening, right? So good evening, what would be the good time, by the way? What would be the good time for evening? Evening, what should we keep the time? It's fine. It's fine. What should we keep it for the evening wala part? Evening, let's say, let's keep evening for 5 to 7, है ना? So 5, I believe, is going to be 17, है ना? So let's keep it till 17, and let's keep it till 17 to 7. 7, I believe, is going to be 19, right? So 19, and let's call this good evening. And else, let's keep it, if the time is other way around, let's call this good night. Good night. And save this. So this should give you good evening. How can we write? This is how we are writing. You just have to think about the cases, right? If you have the cases, see, try and understand what we are trying to do. We are trying to make it a slot, right? We are trying to make a slot out of it. We are saying that, hey, what I need to do is I'm going to separate out my time, right? So if let's suppose if I have time, all I need to know is that whatever time that I'm going to keep, just a second, whatever time I'm going to keep, I have an idea that my time is going to be on a particular slot, right? So in this case, I know that my starting point is either going to be starting from 0, or I'm going to start, or rather I should say this should typically start from 1, right? Because there is no time as 0. So I'll start from 1 and I'll end at 24. And anything in between I can go around and keep. So what I've done is that if my time is starting from 1 to 12, I have this good morning wala situation. Then I'm saying that if it's exactly 12, I just need to tell that, hey, this is going to be noon. And then I'm going to take from 12 to 17, I'm going to keep it afternoon. And from 17 to 19, I'm going to keep it evening. And rest of the remaining time, I'm just going to call this good night. That's it. So that's what I'm doing, right? So in this case, I'm keeping the constant time as 18, right? I can go around and change pretty much anything. Okay, na? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just changing out the slots, right? So I can pretty much can keep any kind of slots that I want. So that's what I'm doing. है ना? So you'll just think, you'll just all, if you're using if and else, all you need to do is just think about the cases. That's it. Right? Chalo. Chalo, let's quickly take a quick recap for the things and then we'll move ahead. In main, I yesterday told you about few different things. For example, conditionals, we just had a look on conditionals, so I'm not going to go around with that. It consists of if, else on, else if. Then there is a switch case. In the switch case, you just keep on any case. If that case is available in the cases that you have mentioned, well, good. Else, it's going to go to the default part. The default part is something that you have not catered out. This should not be the case, I guess. If somebody could like put the link of the channel, that would be like great. Huh? So if somebody could do that, keep that link on a very handy note because a lot of people would be asking for the same. So that would be like great if you could put the link of the channels. Yeah, the sessions are up to date. Like I made it sure that it was done yesterday. So, oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to tell you. I'll be sharing you out with a sheet at the end of the session. Fill that sheet out so that and yeah, your previous wala, for the people who have attended the HTML CSS Bootstrap wala, your participation certificate is on the way. Most probably it could be done either by today or by tomorrow, right? And the next thing up is going to be the certificates for this session. So I'll share you out with the form, fill your details, fill the feedback and stuff. And we'll be following you out with the certification for this course, which is JavaScript, right? So make sure that you attend this session till the last because that's going to be beneficial. Okay, coming back. So we were talking about conditionals. In the case of conditionals, we have three things, or rather I should say four things. Either you could use if, else, or else if, the things that we just saw. Then you have something called a switch. In case of switch, for whatever cases that you mentioned, if the following input is of that particular type or it follows out with that case, well and good. If it's not, it's definitely going to go to the default part. Then we had a look on one small little application that was a voter system wherein we said that we are going to check if you are a male or a female. For the male, the age is going to be above 21. For female, your age should be above 28 or equals to 8. That completely depends on what the problem statement is. Then we had to look on functions. In case of functions, the functions are pretty much reusable blocks that you can go around and use. All you need to do is just create these functions. And once you have these functions, what you need to do is go around and create the function, something like with the keyword called as function. Give the name of the function. You can give the parameter, the name of the parameter, and then you can give whatever values that you want to, or whatever body that you want to give. You can go around and give that value. Then you will have to call that function. So how do we call that function? I'm just going to call that function by the name that I have, and I'm going to pass the parameters, right? These functions could already be catered out as something which is called as ES6 arrow functions. These arrow functions are like very handy. So these help you, write your functions in a very shorthand kind of like a situation. So in that case, what happens is that whatever function that you're creating, what you need to do is just put it inside a variable. So if let's suppose if I want to create a function called as add, which takes two number and add these up. So what I need to do is create a variable. So you can see out here, I've created const add, and I'm going to put an equal sign. And then I'm going to put round brackets, and inside that I'm going to put my variables in, right? So in this case, I have two variables, A and B. And then I'm going to put a arrow sign, which is going to be equals to and greater than sign. And then I'm going to give the body of the function. So this is also some way how you can create ES6 arrow function. So ES6 was like a new thing. So you can go around and do that as well, right? And then in yesterday's session, we had a look on how to examine DOM, what DOM is. So we talked about the DOM is a tree-like structure wherein whole of your HTML is treated like what do you call this as a tree. And in that, you can go around and have a look on a lot of different things, right? So I told you about something called as document. So if I just could do that, so if I'll save this, you could see that I'll have a document. Save, you could see I have a document. And inside this document, you'll find out that there are a lot of things that you can go around and access with. One of the things that you might have seen is called as all. And inside this all, you'll find everything from out here, right? So you can access like the domain, whatever domain that you have, which will just give you the name of the domain that I have, which is the localhost 127.0.0.1. You can access your own URL. You can access the title. You can access what HTML type you're working on, whatever the doc type is going to be. You can go around and do that. You can print the whole body. You can access the whole body. You can access just the head. or even you can just come onto this all and you can just come around and have a look on whatever the index that you want to go around and select. You can do that as well. So if I'll just uncomment that out, so you could see at the 10 I have a h1 which has a ID of header title. So if I'll save that out, you'll see that you'll get this head which contains the oh no, not this one, rather I should have uncommented this one. So if I'll save that, you'll get this header title wala ID, right? So that is something that you can go around and access with. I hope till here everybody was okay. That what were we doing? Are we good till here? If you're gonna ask anything related to DOM, feel free to ask anything that you wanna ask related to DOM, and then we'll move ahead. Shall we? Shall we move ahead? Shall we move ahead? Let's start to discuss on few more complex parts of DOM, and then we'll move ahead. For the people who will be having any doubts, you can go back to the video. Just in case if you still will feel stuck anywhere, feel free to push your doubts either on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you want. Okay. I generally see, but these days I'm kind of like busy or something, right? So might be a situation that, or if I don't text, just keep on pinging me up. That would be like completely okay. But don't ping a lot, okay? All right. So coming back. So let's talk about how we're gonna catch elements using these identifiers, right? So we have something called as identifiers, and these identifiers helps us to identify what are the elements that we want to go around and select. For example, if you have a look on this index.html, in this case, you could see that we have used a lot of selectors. For example, if you'll just come out here, if you'll have a look on YouTube, like please share somebody in the chat section. All right, so in the header, you could see that we have the selectors. For example, we have an ID, we have a class, right? And you could see that I have a tag itself, which tag is this header tag. Then you could see that I have a div. Inside this div as well, I have a class, which is an identifier. And you could see that I have a value for this class. Similarly, I have an h1, and then I have a div, and then I have another header, right? Then what do we have? We have this div, which has a class of container. Then we could see that I have an ID, which is main. And the class is card body. And then I have a lot of different things. So you could see that I have few IDs, few classes, right? And I can actually go around and select all of these elements and can perform a lot of operations on these elements just by using DOM. So DOM gives you a lot of functionality or a lot of functions which helps you out to access all of these things using DOM, right? So the one of the very important things that we are going to do in this today's session is to have a look on these functions. One of the functions that I'll be telling you is called as get element by ID. So what you can do, you can have a look on that whatever HTML that you have, you can actually go around and have a look on different IDs and catch these elements just by using this ID. So if you could see that I have an element called as header, right? This header element. And you could see that I have something like this ID, which is main dash header, right? I can go back to my DOM and I can access this element just by knowing that what the ID of this DOM or this element is. So if I go to my DOM, I can just come here and I can say console log, and I can just write document dot get element by ID. So this is a method, this is a function. And this function takes the ID that you want to go around and capture. And in this case, I have a element in my HTML which has an ID which is called as header header title. So if I'll save this, you'll see it will catch that h1 which has the ID of header title that you can see. Can you see this? Can you see this? So before actually going around and looking into where my element in this all array is, you can actually go around and use these functions like get element by ID. So if you know that what the ID is going to be, for example, I have something called as header title. If let's suppose I want to catch this particular element. So what I can do, I can just go back to my DOM and I can just say, what was the name? The name was header title. So I can just come here and say header title. So you could see that I have this header title. I can go around and say, I can go around and access this as well, which is this main header. I can go around and access this as well. I can just come here and say main header. Main header. If you'll save this, you'll get this main header. Can you see this? So this is your main header. So using these functions, you can grab onto any HTML element that you want. So JavaScripts have these functions to go around and do that, right? So I hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense. right? Now, if you remember when we were having a look or when we were having a discussion on something called as identifiers, when we were discussing this in HTML, if you remember, few people told me that I can go around and write a lot of IDs, right? I can use these IDs multiple times. And you could see that your HTML has no, no restrictions on the same. You can have n number of HTML elements which has the same ID. Your HTML is not going to say anything, or it's not going to throw any error because it's not a programming language. It's a scripting language. So it's completely fine with that, right? Now, do you understand that why I was saying that the ID is always needs to be specific? Now, do you get that? I hope now you're starting to make sense. And I told you that I'll be teaching you up in JavaScript when I'll be teaching you DOM. I told you that you do not need to write any elements. In that case, you cannot have repeating elements. No, it's not going to show you anything. If let's suppose somebody, Sujit, if that would be great, like if you could put this question like in the chat section publicly rather than just doing a DM. Put that out. It's fine. It's a good question. Honestly, it's a good question. It's a good question. Do that. Put that question in the pub. So Sujit said that, hey, if let's suppose if I want to access something using an ID, and let's suppose I didn't spell it right. So if I don't spell it right, if I save this, your it's going to just say null, right? That doesn't exist, right? So it's just gonna give you null. Okay. So this is how we do that. I hope now I have answered up your question. So if you have written something wrong, or if it's not available, it's just gonna say, hey, it doesn't exist. It's a null. It does not exist anymore, right? Are we good till here? I hope this get element by ID makes sense to everybody, right? So you can access anything from the HTML and bring it back to your JavaScript and go around and access. And why are we accessing? We are going to talk about that for a little second. But I hope the access part is clear, that how we're going to go around and access. So we have any element, and if we see any ID, if let's suppose I want this, and I can grab the ID, and I can just just take that ID and just do something with that. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about that. So, but are we good till here? Are we good till here? That we can access these values, right? I'll tell you, it's a good question, but let's talk about all of the methods. I'll talk about query selector and query selector all also. So don't worry about that. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, so are we good till here? Quickly, other people, are we good? Quickly, be a little responsive, because we have a lot of things to cover out. So if you're not giving me any responses, I'll have no idea if you understood or not. Great. Okay. Now, apart from doing that, just by console logging this would not do any good to us, right? So rather, what we can do, we can actually store it inside a variable. So I can just come here and say const, and I can say header title. Keep that in mind. I'm writing it in camel case notation, and I can just put that out here. I'm just gonna get it out from here. I'm just gonna copy. I'm just gonna paste this out, right? I'm just gonna comment this out. So you'll see that the console would be cleared, right? But actually, if I go around and console log this, which is going to be my header title, and save header title and save, you'll see it will give me the same answer. So you can actually just directly either console log that, or you can also contain that inside of a variable. So that is also something that you can do. And why are we doing, or why are we putting this inside a variable? Let's talk about that. Okay. So we can do something like this. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, what am I going to do? I am going to change few certain things about this, right? So what I can do, I can change these values. How am I going to change these values? Let's have a look on that. If you'll have a look on the header title, if you'll just go back to the HTML, and if you'll have a look on the header title, this header title has a value which is being listed out here, which is saying item listener. Can you see this item listener? Can you see this item listener? Right? So this item listener was a part of this ID or this H1, which we just extracted, which we are calling this header title, right? Yeah, I'll push this out in my GitHub. You can go around and download it from there. That's why I'm creating these cheat sheets for you, right? So that just in case and for future purposes, you can go around and access all of these things. So you'll get that, right? Now, let's say I have this header title, and in this header title, I have a title which is being mentioned out here. Let's suppose list item listener. Let's suppose I want to change the content of this value. So I can actually go around and could do that. I could just say header title, dot, there is a property called as text content. I can actually put this text content to, let's say, hello. And if I'll save this, you'll see that it would be changed to hello. Can you see that? Can you see this? Initially, it was called as item listener, but now I can actually change the content of this value, and I can say, hey, now I'm just gonna call this whatever that I want, right? And then I also have another way of doing the same thing. So if I'll just comment this out, save this, I also have another way of doing the same thing. I'm just gonna call this header title, and I'm just gonna say dot inner HTML. And inside this inner HTML, what I can do, I can put a good HTML inside this, right? So I can just come here and say, let's say H3, end H3, and I'm just gonna say, hey, I changed you. So if I save, you'll see that the value is again going to be changed. I hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense to everyone. Okay. Okay. So I told you about two things. First, the text content. The another thing is inner HTML. The interviewer is going to ask you what is the difference between the both of them, right? Because both the things are doing the same thing. It's changing the content, right? So text content is also doing the same thing. It's changing the content, and inner HTML is also doing the same thing, which is changing the content. So what's the difference between both of them? Let's go around and have a look on the difference, right? I'm just gonna comment this out, and let's uncomment this and have a look on it, right? So if I'll save this, you'll see it will be changed to hello. But let's go around and inspect this, right? So if I inspect this out, you'll see that I have an H1, and before in this H1, if you'll just go to the HTML, you'll see that inside this H1, which had an ID of header title, it initially had something called as item listener. But now this H1 has actually changed the value to hello, because that's what we have done in the JavaScript. We said that, hey, the header title or the text content of this header title is now going to be hello. But what would happen if I try to do something like this? If I try to write something like inner HTML and I try to say H3 and do something. So if I'll save this and I go around and inspect this, you'll see that inside this H1, I have another H3 inside this H1. Can you see that? Can you see that? I hope now you could find out the difference. So initially what it was doing, it was changing the value of H1. Now what it's doing, it's putting this whole HTML element inside H1. You could see that H3 is now a child of H1. So I hope both the things make sense to everyone. That what did I just explain? Make sense? How many of you are confused? How many of you are still confused? How many of you are confused? If you're confused, just give me a yes. Confused. Confused. Okay. All right. Okay. Again, let's try and understand this. Okay. Let's try and understand this. So what I'm gonna do, I am gonna go around and comment this out, and I'm just gonna go around and uncomment this. And if I'll save this, just have a look on this H1. If somebody even wants to, for the people who are getting confused, you can take a picture, right? Take a picture and then see the difference. Okay. So the first part is, if I'm doing text content, what it is actually doing, before it had the text content as something called as item listener. So what is this text content doing? The text content is only changing this part, which is, earlier it used to be item listener, now it's called as hello, right? But if I'm trying to do something like inner HTML, if I'm trying to do inner HTML, you'll see that initially, now see, initially in the H1 didn't had any child. It's just replacing the content. It's just changing the content. It's taking over to the content. Initially it was item listener, now it's hello. But now if I do the inner HTML, just see the difference. What's gonna happen is, inside this H1, it's going to take this whole element and put it inside the H1. Can you see this? So inside this H1, it does not have any title, but inside this H1, we have an H3, which is saying, hey, I changed you. Now is it making sense? So whatever tag that I'm using, this tag will be now the child of H1. So inner HTML puts the whole thing inside that container, right? It doesn't replace the value. It put the whole element inside the container. Now I hope this makes sense to everyone. Are we good till here? So if somebody asks you what is the difference between inner HTML and text content, I hope you would be able to explain him or her. We good? We good? Chalo, nice. In case of inner HTML, you will have to write the tag. In case of inner HTML, you will have to write the tag as well, right? In case of text content, you do not need to write any tag. Okay, it's just going to change the values. All right, so let's do one more thing. Let's say this header title. Let's say I want to change the style. Okay, so if I'll save this would come back to the same thing, which is item listener, right? So now what I'm gonna do, let's suppose I want to change the style. So I could just come around here and just say header title dot style dot color. I can just give the color to, let's say, red. So if I'll save this, you'll see now it's in red. Can you see that? हाँ, so that is what I've done ना. H1 के अंदर उसने H3 को place किया है. So it's not replacing H1. It's saying, okay, H1 के अंदर I'm going to place an H3. ठीक है? So don't get confused. If you want to replace it, there are few other higher order methods. We are not going to go around with that, right? Because it's little complex. You want to change the whole stuff up. You can do that using JavaScript, but it's kind of like a complex, advanced kind of like a situation. So I'm not going to go out there. Okay, I hope this makes sense, Saloni. Okay, but if somebody asks you, can you do that? Yes, you definitely can go around and do that. Okay, but as of now, we are not going to do that because it's kind of like a complex, advanced kind of like a thing. Okay, here you can see that I can zoom the VS Code. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom the VS Code. So here, let's suppose if I want to change the style of this particular element that I have just selected, which is this header title, you could see that I can also change the style. Let's suppose if I want to change the style, I can just come here and just say, hey, I'm just going to change your style. So I could just say whatever I've selected, I can just say whatever I've selected dot style and dot whatever property that I want to give, I can give that property. Again, I can just go around and do background color. But in this case, the background color, it's not going to be background dash color. No, it's going to be background in camel casing COLOR, right? And if I'll save this, you'll see the background color is going to be in red. Okay. You can change the font family as well. You can change the font family. Let's suppose I can just say font family, and I can just call this cursive, let's say. So you can do that as well. So you can see that it's going to be item listener. Okay, are we good? Right? So just whatever for whatever you want to change the style, you can just say put dot style, and whatever property that you want to mention, you can mention the property. It could be color, it could be background color, it could be font family, it could be something like of which you call this as chalo ek cheez aur kar lete hain, just to make it a little more pretty. You can also do that. You can also do that. You can just come down here and you can just mention out it once more. The header title dot style dot what do you want? Color, right? Color. And I'm just gonna put this color to, let's say, gray, let's say. So I'm just gonna F4. Save. Oh, you can make it bold as well, so that is fine. Oh, rather let's keep it let's keep it red, let's say. Right, so you could see that it's cursive and it's red as well. You can do multiple things. No, in one line, no. Itna bhi selfish mat bano, hai na? At least JavaScript is doing pretty much everything for you, so don't be a little more selfish, hai na? So ek hi line mein nahi kar sakte. You will have to come to on different lines and you can go around and do that. Sorry. Chalo, let's do one more thing. Let's say iske niche na, yeah, you can do pretty much any decoration that you want. Let's do one more thing. You can have a look on the header. So if I could grab this header, what is the name of the header? Again, it's called as main header, right? So let's grab onto this property or grab onto this element. You can do anything that you want. I'm just gonna say const header is equals to document dot get element by ID. I'm just gonna put this ID as main header. And what I can actually do is just come here and say header dot I'll just tell you, for the people who are asking for padding and all of these things, you can actually do that. So I'm just going to say header dot style dot border bottom, and I'm just going to put this, let's say, solid 3 pixel. Let's keep it rather 5 pixel, and let's keep it black. So I'm just going to say black. Save, and you'll see a black border being depicted out here. As you could see, that item listener ke niche, you could see a black border out from here. That I'll be telling you. I'll tell you how you'll create elements. Okay, that I'll do. Right. So you could see that in the styles, I've added up this border bottom, right? So you can also add it border top as well. You know, so that's completely up to you. Definitely. डेफिनेटली कर सकते हैं, डेफिनेटली कर सकते हैं, हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं जावास्क्रिप्ट से. I'll be telling you everything, pretty much everything, not exactly everything, but pretty much everything that you'll be needing in order to go around and do something. So I hope this get element by ID makes sense to everyone. That what is this get element by ID? Get element by ID makes sense. Okay. So in case of get element by ID, whatever you want, whatever element that you want, which is having any ID, and ID is very specific, so you can just put any ID and you can just go around and do that. So like you can just go around and write it black if you want. Okay, na? So if I do black as well, that is fine. So if we'll save, reference header is not defined. So let's go around and define the header. Save. You'll still find something like this. So that's completely up to you. I remember the colors. Like if you don't, you can just mention black, white, pink, yellow, whatever you want. Even if I write just yellow, which out of which I don't know what the color scheme is, so you can see that it's going to give you a yellow pattern out there. So that's completely up to you, right? I keep it 0 because I remember the color code. If you don't, just put the name of the color. That's fine. All right. So are we good? Any other doubts? If you have, you can put your doubts still. Let's go to get elements by class name. Are we good? People, quickly, if you're good, just give me a yes. We'll move ahead quickly. Get element by ID. I hope this makes sense. Now, if you'll have a look on the function that I'm talking about, this is called as get elements by class name. And why am I calling this? It's elements, not element. It's elements, which is plural. Because I told you when I was teaching you about all of these selectors, I told you that class name could be multiple. Multiple elements can have the same class name. Hana? Would you teach databases in these programs? No. Databases is like databases take a lot of time, by the way. Like even if you're working on SQL databases and NoSQL databases, databases generally take a lot of time. Nice. What's your name? Del? What's your name? Okay, let's not take out names. So even it's fine. It's fine. Somebody in the chat section asked me that, hey, I can do all of these things using CSS. Why am I doing it with JavaScript? Somebody who could answer this up. You can create buttons, you can create text fields, you can create elements, you can create anything that you want. I'll tell you how you're gonna go around and do that. But how? If somebody could tell me that I can do all of these stuff using CSS, but why are we doing all of these things in JavaScript? Don't tell me you don't know this. I've told you multiple times. Can somebody tell me that why are we using all of this using JavaScript when I can do the same stuff using CSS? Tell me. No, it's not. See, didn't I tell you about this? That why are we okay? How many of you have no idea that why are we doing all of these things using JavaScript? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a good question. A lot of people would be having the same question. Trust me. And when I ask them, they'll say yes. How many of you have no idea that why are we doing all of these things using JavaScript, by the way? The styling and all of these things. If you have no idea, just give me a no. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. See, how about if I want to do the same thing when I click this button? Let's say when I click the submit button, then I want everything to change. How about that? I want that when I click the submit button, something should change. How will I do that in CSS? I hope this is making, I see, why are we using programming languages? I'm saying, I typically told you to yesterday that why are we using programming languages and what is the use? Because all of these languages are programming languages, which is going to give you functionalities that I can make questions, I can make conditions that when I press the button and if I press the button, then something should happen. Right now, I hope this is making sense. That I want to happen something if something like this happens, or I want to do something if something like this happens, right? So you're making questions, you're making arguments, you're making conditions, right? That if something like this occurs, then I'm going to do something, right? These are the way why we are using or accessing everything using JavaScript. Now, I hope this makes sense to everyone. Okay, are we good? Guys, are we good? Now I hope everybody knows that why are we doing the same thing using JavaScript, by the way. Anna? If you don't know the utility, there is no point of doing all of these things. Yeah, we'll not be able to perform different actions. All right. So let's talk about class name, right? Let's talk about class name. So let's say if I take onto this, if I come to here, and if I mention the class, if you could see out here, all the list element has the same class, which is called as list group item. Can you see this? That all the LIs, all the list elements, all the list element have the same class, which you're calling this is list group item. Can you see this? Quickly, keep on giving me yes or no, hai na? Because if you won't, I'll be in trouble, hai na? Chalo. So what am I going to do? I'm going to select all of these properties using something called as class name. So what I can say, I can just come here, I can just say const items. I can just come here and say document dot get element by class name, right? And I'm going to put the class name as list dash group dash item, right? And now if I save this and if I console log this, the items, and save this, you will see that I will get an HTML collection of all of these list items, right? So 0 is item 1, 1 is item 2, 2 is item 3, 3 is item 4. Everyone can see this. And you can see that they have the same like array like syntax, which is giving you the index. And depending upon that index, you're getting all of these values. Can you see this? The moment I hover over onto this, you can see that it will start to give me all of these values, right? Now, keep that in mind. One thing which is very, very important that a lot of people ask in the interview, what kind of data structure is this? Or what kind of data type is this? You could see that this is a HTML collection. This is not an array. Keep that in mind. Very, very important. This is not an array. It's an HTML collection. HTML collection has a lot of differences when you talk about arrays, right? Arrays is very different. HTML collection is very different. But the internal functionality of both this stuff is exactly the same thing. As you could see that it is also giving me the indices, and I can actually have a go around here and I can just say, no, it's not an object. Object is like completely different. So I can just come here and say item 0, save, and you'll see I should get this list item 1. Right, same thing. I can just go around here and I can say log items 1, save, and you'll see that I'll get item number 2. Right, yeah, it has all the length properties and all of these things. So I'm mentioning the index and you could see that I'm getting these list values back. You could see that there is a property called as length as well, right? You can just go around and check for the length as well. So you can just go around here and you can say items dot length, save, and you should pretty much should get 4. So right, there are 4 HTML elements or 4 LI elements inside this, right? Now you can again go back and do the same thing which we have done above in the above section. So I can actually could come out here and I can say, let's say items 1, let's say dot text content, and let's suppose I want to change the text content to, let's say, hello 2, right? And if I'll save this, so you'll see item number 2 is now changed to hello 2, right? You can again change the styles as well, right? You can change the text content. You can change the font weight if you want. So I can just come here and say item 2 dot style dot font weight WEIGHT, let's say font weight, and I can keep it as bold, and you'll see that it will be bold now. Item, oh, items, oh, it's items, sorry. So you could see that item 3 is now bold. If you want to change the style, let's suppose you want to change the, I can just come here, items 3 dot style dot, let's say, background color. Let's suppose I want to keep it as yellow. You can keep it as yellow as well. So save, you'll see that it will have a yellow background. Okay. So keep that in mind. Are we good? Are we good? Can we change all the list items as well at one time? Yes. Let's suppose I want to change, let's say, good question, change all the list items at once. List items at once. So in this case, we'll have to loop around, if you remember. So I'll have to use for let I is equals to 0, I less than items dot length, and I can just come here and say I plus plus, and I'm just gonna come here and say items I dot style dot color. Let's say I want to keep the color as let's say gray. So it's F4. Save, and you'll see the color is now gray. So rather it's not a good color. Let's keep it red. Let's say save, and you'll see every of the item is now in red color, right? So you can do all of these things as well. So you want to change all the item values at once. That is also something that you can go around and do. I hope this stuff is making sense to you people. That what am I doing out here? Is it making sense? Is it making sense, guys? Yeah. Okay. Isn't this interesting? So you can go around and do everything, pretty much anything that you want to do dynamically. So that is something that you can go around and do, right? So I'm just gonna comment this out as well. So either you can go around and select values by class name as well, right? So in this case, you'll get a collection. हाँ, forms के बारे में भी करते हैं discussion. Don't worry, we'll talk about forms. So what you can do, you can grab a lot of HTML elements together by which are having the common classes, right? And you can go around and loop around these classes and perform pretty much anything that you want. All right, so we also get something like of tag name, right? So let's say get elements by tag name, get elements by tag name. So that is also something that you can do. So if let's suppose you know want to get a different effect on each list item, हाँ so वही तो किया मैंने अभी. Are you not paying attention, people? यार, don't ask me these silly questions. See, यही तो किया मैंने different. इसमें text content I change this. Now item 2 में मैंने font weight को bold कर दिया. If I want different effects on different each item, so I can do that. I can just put this whatever index that I have, I can just put and dot style and for whatever values that I want or whatever changes that I want to make, I can go around and do that. So वही तो बताया सबसे पहले, ठीक है? अरे बता रहे हैं पहले इनको कर लेंगे पहले complete. Let's take it serial wise. Take it, Twinkle. Let's take it serial wise. Let's talk about that how we're gonna grab the properties. So two things we have seen: get element by ID and get elements by class name. Let's talk about the third property or the third function, which is called as get elements by tag name. So are you ready? Are you ready? Quickly. If you're ready, let's talk about that. Okay. Let's talk about tag name. So in case of tag name as well, let's go around and have a look on this tag, which is this li tag. So whatever tag that you want, you can go around and have a look. First, let's go around and grab ul. Okay. So let's say what we can do, I can just come here and say var, or let's take it const ul, and I can just come here and say document dot get element by tag elements by tag name, and I'm just gonna put the name of the element that I want, which is going to be ul. So if I actually go around and console log this ul, you'll find out that whatever ul that you'll have, this ul will get you all the items, and you could see that you have a lot of different things. Now, if let's suppose I want to get all the li, so I'm just gonna put this li. I'm just gonna say const li, and I'm just gonna print these out, these li. Save, you'll get all the li's, right? You could see that I'm getting all the li's. है ना? हाँ, see, these could be used interchangeably. If you want to use class name, you use class name. If you want to use tag name, you can use tag name. I'm giving you options, right? I'm telling you what are the different options, how you're going to go around and select. You can use ID all the time. You can use class name all the time. You can use tag name all the time. But you should know that what are the different options that JS gives you, right? So this is the third option. You can also grab elements using tag name. So you can see I'm doing the same thing. Okay. Again, I'm not going to go around. You can actually go around and do all of these things again. You can just come here and say li0.style.font weight, or maybe just font family. I'm just going to keep it cursive, let's say. So I can again do that, the same thing, and you could see that it's now in cursive, right? So it will give you all the, see, it will give you everything that it sees like UL. So if, let's suppose if I have another UL, let's say, let's do that. It's a good question. So let's go around and grab this, copy, and I'm just going to put an HR. I'm just going to paste this in, save. Now you'd see that I have two values. Now, if I'll actually go around and have a look at the UL, it will give me all the ULs, right? It will give me all the ULs. I'm just going to comment this out because it will say that I cannot find li. So you could see that it will give you both the values, right? So it will see 0, which is this form, 1, which is this form. Can you see this? Can you see this? So you can go around and grab pretty much anything that you want. It will give you, if you have multiple, it will give you all the values. li.style.color equals red. So it will change the color as red. Pavan, come on, yeah. Li without index. Oh, li, you are saying li without index. Well, of course, it will give you an error. It will definitely will give you an error. So let's go around and try that. So it will give you an error. It will definitely will give you error. Cannot set the property font family of undefined, right? So it will definitely will give you an error. You have to mention. That is why we are using loops, right? That is why I taught you loops. Loops k helps you can go around and do that, right? So yeah, it's okay, but yeah, you know. So silly question, but a good question, you know. Save, chalo. All right, so you cannot definitely cannot do that, you know. So if you gonna keep it at 0, so then only it's gonna do that. So I'm just gonna comment that out as well. Now let's talk about two more things. Let's talk about query selector and query selector all. Okay, so I hope all the three things is clear. Get element by ID, elements by class name, elements by tag name. If you're good till here, just give me a yes. We'll move ahead quickly. Quick. How is DOM? Is it interesting or is it boring? Be honest. Is it interesting or is it boring? It's a lot of fun. If I could have like a lot of time with you people, I could have showed you a lot of different things, a lot of interesting things, but we are actually short on time. So I will have to restrict myself. I'll have to control my emotions and only will have to teach you what is relevant. So if we'll get some time, I'll take you on to a very good ride over DOM and stuff like that. Correct. So if sometimes I'll have time, I'll grab you people and I'll teach you a lot of different things. What happens is that I generally don't get a lot of time even for these sessions as well. I have to take out a lot of time for the same, right? But never mind. Shall we move ahead? Time is definitely an issue. Chale aage? Chalo. All right, great. Let's do query selectors. Okay, let's do query selectors. Now, query selector is exactly the same thing that we have seen, but the way of working of the query selector is little different. Okay, if you want to grab something using query selector, because typically if you talk about what query selector is, a query selector is a combination of get element by ID, get element by class name, and get element by tag name. So it's a combination of all of these three things, right? But there is a problem with query selector. Okay, there is a problem with query selector. We'll talk about the problem in a little second. Okay, but let's go around and explore this. Let's suppose if I want to do the same thing, let's suppose I want to grab this main header, which is this header, this main header, which is this green part that you can see out here. So I can actually could do that, but keep that in mind. This main header is an ID, right? It's an ID. It's not a class. It's an ID. So what I can do, I can just come here and say const header, and I can just come here and say document dot query selector, And inside this query selector, I can give the value of the ID. But in the ID, if you want to give the ID, see, initially what you were doing, you were saying get element by ID, right? So it knew that it's going to be an ID. But in case of query selector, I'm saying you can select anything. You can select ID, you can select class, you can select tag. So you'll have to specify that what am I talking about. So hash is used if you're talking about an ID. And in this case, the ID is going to be, oh, so sorry. In this case, the ID is going to be the main header ID, right? So now if you'll just do console log and log the header, save, you could see that you'll get the header back. I hope this is making sense. I don't have any styles. I don't have any, I'm using Bootstrap. I'm using Bootstrap. If you could see out here, I'm using Bootstrap. I don't have any CSS file for the same. Okay. Can you see this? That I can access a something called as main header by putting a hash in front of it. Can you see this? So hash in my query selector is going to say, hey, I'm going to pass you with an ID. So that means main header is an ID. How does query selector know? By this term, which is this hash. Hash means that this is going to be an ID. If let's suppose you want to grab something by, let's say, if you want to grab something using, let's say, by a tag. Let's say you want to get something by a tag. Query selector क्यों use करते हैं? Because it gives you all the three functionality in one. That's it. है ना? हाँ, correct. Del is correct. है ना? Let's suppose you want to grab something from using a tag, right? So I can just come here and say, why am I writing var? Const input is equals to document dot query selector. And in the query selector, I'm just going to pass, let's say, input. Okay, any input that I have. So if I'll be having any input type, so it's just going to give me that. If I console log this input and save, you'll see that I'll get this input type, which is this input type. Okay. Yeah, it's better than a query. It's better than a lot of things, but it has its own challenges as well. It has its own challenges. Let's suppose I want to grab something by class, so I can actually go around and grab something by class. Now have a look out here. Just have a look out here. Everybody just pay attention. When I was doing class name, my class name was giving me all the 4 values, right? But if I do the same thing using query selector, see what happens. If I just do const and I just say li is equals to document dot query selector, and in this case I'm going to pass a class, this class, list group item class. And if I actually go around and log this, which is going to be this li, if I save this, you'll see that it's only going to give me one li, the first li that it's going to see. Can you see this? Can you see this? That this is only going to return me the first element, the first and the only element that it's going to find with the class as list group item. It's not going to give me a plural. It's not going to give me an HTML collection, or it's not going to give me any array. It's just going to give me the first element that it finds as a class. So this is a problem with query selector, right? So the alternative of query selector is something called as query selector all. So I'm just going to call this, I can access ID. I can access, I can access tag name, and I can also access class name, but only first instance. I can only grab only one instance. And same is the case with tag as well. So the first tag it's going to see as input type, only that would be returned, nothing else would be returned, right? So I'm just going to go around and put that in the comments. So we have another thing for the same, which is called as query selector all. Query selector all, which is like a little advanced version of query selector. A lot of people don't use it. A lot of people does, right? It completely depends on, depends on perspective, right? So whatever you want, you can go around and use it, but you should know that what are the things which are available for you people. So query selector all is going to do the same thing, right? Again, we can do the same thing using query selector that we have done. We can again do the same thing, but in this case, what's going to happen? Let's say I go around and grab the same thing. Let's go around and copy this out. So I'm just going to copy this out, just gonna paste in. I'm just gonna say rather than query selector, I'm going to use query selector all, right? And now if I actually save this, so console would be cleared. Now if I go around and log this li, you'll see that now it's going to give me all the things, right? All the values, right? Huh? From class. Class may, see, try and understand. For in case of class, you can just write, see, you can just write out here, get elements by class name, and you can just mention whatever class that you want. So you can see that it's going to give you the same thing. It's going to give you the same thing. You can also do the same thing using something called as query selector or query selector all, query selector or query selector all. But in this case, if you save this, this will give you an error, right? It's not showing you anything because you have to mention that this is a class. You put a dot in front of it just to tell that it's a class. So now if you'll save this, it will give you the values back. Okay, Sai, I hope this is making sense now. Okay, so you can use class name, you can use query selector, you can use pretty much anything that you want. It's a personal preference, right? But can somebody tell me that there is a difference between class name and query selector all? Can somebody tell me? There is a small little difference. Why we putting dot? See, I just told you guys, open your ears and listen to me carefully when I explain you something. नहीं समझ आता है तो पूछो. But see, I'm explaining you stuff. Listen to me very carefully. ठीक है? I'm saying query selector के help से you can select ID, you can select class, you can select tag, right? You can select anything that you want. But if you can select anything, how will you tell your query selector that what is to be selected? What are you passing? Is it a class? Is it an ID or is it a tag? What is it? So if it is a tag or sorry, if it's an ID, you put a hash in front of it. If it's a class, you put a dot in front of it. And if it's a tag, you do not put anything in front of it. So dot is used to specify in query selector that, hey, it's a class. Hash is used in the case when you want to tell that, hey, it's an ID. And you don't put anything in front of it just to tell that, hey, this is the tag that I'm looking for. Same is the case with query selector all. You could see that it's giving me all the values that you can see out there, right? Can you see the values? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I hover over it, you could see that, yeah, it's giving me all the values. See, if I hover over it, it's giving me all the values. But there is a difference. Can anybody find a difference? Just look at the console and just have a look on the console very carefully. You'll find the difference between query selector and get element by class name. Can anyone find it? Find the difference. Don't look at the code, just look at the output, the console part. Just look at the output. Good, very good. Initially, get element by class name used to give me HTML collection. Do you remember? Do you remember? It used to give me something called as HTML collection. But now if I'm using query selector, if I could show you, if I'm using get element by class name and saving this, you'll see that it was giving me HTML collection. It's giving me HTML collection. But if I'm using something called as query selector all and I'm passing this is going to give me a node list. Can you see this? And you have to keep this difference in your mind all the time. And this is generally asked in interviews as well, that what is the difference between query selector all and what is the difference between class name or tag name or get element by ID. So the major difference is the output, the container of the output, right? So sometimes if you're using class name, tag name or ID, it's going to give you an HTML collection. But if you're using query selector or query selector all, it's going to give you a node list. I hope all the 5 things is making sense to everyone now, that what is a get element by ID, what is get element by tag name. So if you want to go around and examine the DOM, and if you want to catch all the elements, I'm going to write everything out here. So one is get element by ID, get element by, just gonna copy this out, copy. So one is get element by ID, another one is get elements by class name, right? I'm just gonna copy this out, get elements by class name, and then you have something called as get elements by tag name, and then you have something called as query selector, and then you have something called as query selector all. So if somebody would be asking you the difference between all of these things, how many of you would be able to answer the questions? Okay, what are the differences between all of these five? Would you be able to explain the differences to anybody? Quickly, if you can, give me a yes. If you can't, if you have a doubt, put that out in the chat section and then we'll move ahead quickly. Chalo. I'm leaving one topic in between and I'm going to expect you to do this. If you have understood all of these things, there is something called as, what is it called as? It's called as DOM traversal. It's important. DOM traversals, it's important, but this actually takes a lot of time and we don't have time. So I'm just going to skip this out. So if you have actually understood all of the five things that we have just discussed above, I'll share you out with a link in the Discord or maybe on Instagram or maybe anywhere if you'll ping me up. And if you're interested to know more about DOM, so I'll give you the link. You can actually go around and have a look on DOM traversals, right? I can share you out with the links as well if you want. So you can go around and learn DOM traversals on your own. But I'm going to follow out with the more important part, which is going to be the event part. So are you ready? Are you ready? Shall we start with events? Instagram ID, Instagram ID, Instagram ID, Instagram ID. For the people who need the Instagram ID, this is my handle. Okay, it's quite simple. Okay, so let's start with events. Okay, let's start with events and let's do a lot of things on these events. Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. We can do one thing, that down at the bottom out here, when we are ending this li or when we are ending this ul, what I can do, I can just put down a button, and this button will have a class of button button dark, let's say. Correct, that one, right? Okay, so I'm creating a button out here at the down at the bottom. Okay, I'm creating a button, and let's give it a id. Let's give it an id. Let's give it an id of button. Let's say, okay, this would do. This would do, and let's call this click me. Let's call this click me. Let's call this click me. Save, and you should get a button out there. So I'm just gonna do what? I'm just gonna put a break at the end. So I'm just gonna put a break and save. This would look something like this. So what have I done? I have created up a button out here, which is calling this click me, which doesn't do anything as of now, but I'll be teaching you events, and this events would be telling you how you're gonna do stuff, right? So let's start with events. A lot of people were asking me that, sir, what's gonna happen if I click this button, or tell us how we are going to do all the functionality part. Let's start with this. Let's start with events. So are you ready? Shall we start with events? Shall we start with events? I'm not going to confuse you with events. There are n number of ways how you can you can use events, but yeah. So what would happen if I click this event, right? So that is something that I'll be telling you. So if you're ready, if you are ready to learn the events part, let's just give me a yes. We'll move ahead and start talking about events. That's a old school stuff. We don't use any on click or anything like that anymore. It's a old school stuff. No. We don't use it anymore, right? Not in ES6 for sure, right? It was way back. अरे नहीं use करते हैं यार on. We do not use on anymore in ES6. We use something else. Okay, so are you ready? If you're ready, give me a yes. We'll move ahead quickly. We'll be talking about events in ES6. Okay, we'll be using events in ES6. Keep that in mind. I'm teaching you what's the modern way of doing the same thing, right? So we'll talk about the modern stuff because it's out there, it's updated. So let's do about that. Now let's say I want to add some events to this button, which is this button out here, which I've just created, right? So this is the button on click of which I need to do something. Okay. So this button has an ID, and the ID of this button is button. So let's go around and grab that first of all. So I'm just gonna come here. I'm just gonna say, let's say var btn is equals to document dot get element by id, get element by id. And I'm just gonna put this button as an ID because if you remember, it has a button. So if you'll actually go around in console log, this btn, you should see this button out there, right? So you could see that this is the button that we have grabbed. Now, once you have this button in your JavaScript, right? Now, what do you need to do? You need to bind this button to a function, or what you need is when you click this button, something should happen, right? Some functionality should get performed on the click of the button, which is this button, which is this click me button, right? You can actually do that by doing something which is called as add event listener, right? So what happens is in case of ES6, what you can do, yeah, it's called something called as add event listener. So what do we do? Whatever button that I have, right, which I've just accessed, I can just use dot add event listener, right? And I can mention that on what event I can do that. So I mentioned the name of the event. In this case, it's going to be the click event, and I'm going to perform something, right? Yeah, I want to perform something. If let's say I can just come out here, I can either directly give this a function, right? I can directly could give it a function and just be like alert, uh, just alert button click, right? Save, and you'd see the on the click of the button, the alert says button click, right? Either you can do it this way, or what you can do is rather you can just write it this way, is that you can let's say I'm just gonna call this let's call this function as let's call this button click. Let's call this button click. On the click, I just need to mention this button click. Now this button click is the name of the function, so you'll have to go around and give the value of the same. So I'm just gonna go around and create this function, and about that I can just go around and do pretty much anything. I can just come here and say alert, hello, or maybe just button click, button click. So this would do the same thing, right? So if I'll save this, click this, you could see that the alert says the button is clicked, right? So this is how we do this. It's very simple. On whatever things that you want to add the event listener to, first of all, grab that element, right? For example, if you have a button and on the click of a button, you want to do something. So that is something that you can totally could do and could go around and do that, right? You can actually could do the same thing you using, you know, whatever that you want. You can do that as well. Okay. So that is what we'll be doing. Chalo. How can we use arrow functions? So in this case, you can use arrow functions as well. So you can do that as well. You can do that. Okay, you can do that. How to submit the data using, no. Once you step onto, you know, once you check the temperature of the water, you just don't go around and dive it into it. You have not even barely touched the surface of the event. So let's not talk about how we're going to submit data using all of these things, right? It's a very big term, you know. You instead of var, you can put it const, you can put it anything, right? It will still work. It's just a way of representation, you know. Anything that you want. Okay, chalo. There's a lot of difference. Single page application takes a less space when you're deploying this, right? The single page applications, when you're talking about Angular, when you're talking about what we'll be doing from next week onwards. So when we'll be talking about React, when we'll be talking about Angular, I'll be giving you a wholesome of an idea what a single page application is. And there is a reason that all of these frameworks gives you the ability to write single page application, because first of all, it takes less amount of space to get deployed. Second, the execution time is and it's very quick, and it's very fast. All right, so let's not waste time. Let's go around and do something pretty stuff. So are you ready? So I just hope now you know how to add event listener. So are we good with this? Add event listener, we're good with that? I just hope everybody now knows how to add an event listener. It's like very simple, right? Step number one, this is step one. Step one is to grab the element, that whatever element that you have, just grab that element. And then step number 2, do this. Step number 2 is to do this. What? For whatever element that you have got, so you can just do element, whatever element that I have, dot add event listener, add event listener. And in this, you just mention whatever event that you want to have a look on, that event, comma, whatever the function is going to be, just mention that function. Right? Chalo. Great. Now, let me tell you about very important stuff, which is asked a lot of times in the interview, which is called as event element or event emit. Okay, or rather, a lot of people call this event property. So let's call this event property. Okay. Now, every time you are doing something with the event listeners, what you can do is get the event property along with that event that you have fired out. For example, if I'm going to go around and comment this whole stuff up, I'm just going to grab this along, copy, save, and I'm going to do something. Now, see here. Everyone, just open your eyes, open your ears. I won't be able to explain it to you multiple times. So open your ears, open your eyes, and see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I will just grab onto this button and I'm going to add event listener to this. Right. So I grab this button, and step number 2 is that whatever element that I have, which is this button, so I'm just going to go on to the new line and I'm going to add event listener. And in this event listener, I'm going to listen to let's say the button property, or sorry, the click property, or the click event, and I'm going to do a function, let's say, right? Let's suppose I want to do I'm going to fire a function. In this case, this function is going to be, let's say क्या कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे, क्या नाम रखें हम लोग अपने फंक्शन का? What should we name the function? I find it like very, क्या नाम रखें अपने फंक्शन का? चलो इसका नाम रखते हैं run event, है ना? इसका नाम रखते हैं run event. ठीक है, let's go around and do that. Now, once we'll be creating this run event, अब इसको जरा ध्यान से देखना, हाँ, इस run event को ध्यान से देखना. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function called as run event. Oh, ये क्या हो गया? Run event. And in this run event, while I'll be creating this function, now listen to me very carefully. While I'm creating, see, even in here as well, I created up a function which was this button click function, right? Exactly the same way. But in this case, when I'm creating this run event, I'm going to pass it a parameter called as an event property parameter. Okay. And if I actually go around and do console log of this E and save this, and once I click this button, you'll see a lot of properties being depicted out here. Can you see this? Just have a look on it. And if I open this, this will give me a whole idea about what is happening when you have something like this. Can you see this? It gives me a lot of values like client X, client Y. Then I have something like offset X, offset Y, right? The X and Y property where that click happened, right? At what time did this happen? Was this inside the window or outside the window, right? All the property related to that event, you'll get it the moment you'll add one property in your function on which it was fired. I hope this is making sense now. This E property. So this is asked in the interview very frequently, that what is the event property, right? So once you are adding an event listener to something, if you're adding any event listener to any event, in that case, if you pass it with a parameter, it could be any parameter. I could just call this event. I could just call it E. I can call it pretty much anything that I want. So if I just do that, the same thing, you can call it anything, right? It's just a variable. So save. If I click this button, you'll see that the event would be fired, right? ठीक है? Are we good? कितने लोगों को समझ आया that what we have done out here? How many of you are okay with this? Okay. So when you want to find the properties of that event, that where was that event happen? Where did that click happen? What time did this click happen? and in which area did that click happen. If you need all the properties related to the same, you use something called as event property. ठीक है, क्या कर रहे हैं फिर से समझो. I'm explaining it to you once more and try and understand this. What are we doing? We are saying, you can write your own name. You can write it pretty much anything. Let's call it sign. Let's call this sign. Save. Click this button. The sign is fired now. Okay. Okay. So you can keep it anything that you want. All right. Now, why are we doing this? Trying to understand first of all. हम लोगों ने क्या किया? What have we done? We had a look on this button. We grabbed this button. इस button के click पे we wanted to do some functionality. But while I was mentioning this functionality, while I was giving the body of this functionality, I passed a parameter which is called as event parameter or event property. You know, you can call it interchangeably. You can even call this event parameter, whatever you want to call this. And once I log this up, what this event parameter is going to do, this event parameter is going to tell me the metadata related to this event. Metadata क्या हुआ इस event का? Where was this click happened? Was this inside the window or not? What is the X value? What is the Y value? Where was this click happened? Was it inside the window or outside the window and stuff like that? You can do a lot of different things with the same. I hope this is making sense now. Guys, is it making sense now? Okay. What is this event parameter is going to do? Event parameter is going to give you the metadata related to that event. For example, where was the event happening? What time did this event happen? Was this event happening inside the window or not? Is it trusted or not? So you could see out here, there are a lot of properties. So there is a property called as is trusted. So yeah, so there is a property called as is trusted. True. Yes. Screen X क्या है? Screen X की value क्या है? Screen Y की value क्या है? What is the value of client X? What's the value of client Y, and so on and so forth. So this is all the metadata related to that event. When was this event done? When was the event fired? It hardly matters. It hardly matters with the same Twinkle. We can change name. See, changing name is not going to change its behavior. You can change its name. You can do anything that you want. Take a Twinkle. You can change the values. You can change the name of the functions as well. Right? You can put it anything that you want. Are we good, guys? Quickly, yes, no. Are we good? Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's say what I want to do here is let's go back here and above these list elements, or maybe you know what, below these list element, before the button, let's go around and create a div out here. Let's go around and create a div. Let me tell you that why am I creating this div, and let's give the ID as, let's say, output. Okay, so I've created up a div out here, and now let's say on the click of the button, once this button is clicked, I want to know the X property and the Y property of the same. Okay, so let's say I want to get this. What will I do? I'll get the output wala div, and I'm just gonna say where output is equals to document.getElementById, and the ID that I had was called as output. So I have this. So what will I do? Once this event is fired and once this button is clicked, what will I do? I'll get this output, and inside this output, I'm just going to put an inner HTML. In the inner HTML of, inner HTML output dot inner HTML. I'm going to put this value, and the value is going to be that X property and the Y property. Okay, so in the X property, I want to put $e dot offset X property, and the same thing I'm going to do for Y as well. I'm going to put this Y property. So if I save this, now see what happens. Cannot read the property add event listener on undefined. Something happened here. 105 btn dot add event listener. क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं? Oh, अच्छा, I have put a dot out there. Don't worry. Save. If you'll click this, you'll see the X and Y property of the same. Can you see this? Can you see? Oh, अच्छा, Y. और rather ना इसको set करने के लिए मैं एक चीज और कर सकता हूँ. I can put it inside the tags. So I can just put it inside H3, and the same thing I can do at the end as well, because it's an inner HTML. So if you remember, I just told you about inner HTML. I can say end H3 and save this. So once this button is clicked, it will give you the X property and the Y property, and it will keep on changing. You could see out here, it will keep on changing whether at what place was this event fired, right? So it will give, so Y property is going to be, see, the Y property is going to be whatever box of click me is, right? So if I'll click on the border, it will give me 1. So the Y property is this, the vertical property, X property is this. So you could see out here, only the X property is changing, right? Horizontal properties are changing. Use abhi batate hain. It's silly, it's all silly, but you can actually go. I'm just telling you that there are ways of doing the same thing. I'll tell you that what could be the changes, right? You can create anything that you want, but I'm telling you that you have something called as, because these are asked in the interviews, right? So that is why I'm telling you all of these things. All right, so let's do one thing rather. Let's do something interesting, shall we? Let's do something interesting. ठीक है, कुछ interesting सा काम करते हैं. This is like very useless kind of thing. Let's do something interesting and then we'll end up with the session. ठीक है, one last little thing and then we'll end up with the session. सही है? ठीक है. So what will I do? I'll just put a break out here, and down at this, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create a div, right? And after this div, I'm gonna put a break. This is just for fun, right? This is just for fun. This has its own utility, but you'll use it somewhere later in your case, right? So let's say I'm gonna give this ID as box. Let's say ID as box, and what am I going to do? I'm going to give the style property. Let's say, so I'm just gonna mention the style so that it looks like a box. So let's say I give the width property, and let's suppose the width is 500 pixels. And then I mentioned, let's suppose the height property, and let's suppose the height is 300 pixels, let's say. So if I save this, you'll see a box out here, which would be a div. Or maybe let's give it a background color because it's not gonna look good. So I'm just gonna give the background color, and let's say the background color is this color, let's say. Save. So you could see that there is a box out there. Everyone can see this box. Everyone can see this box. Can you see this box? Okay. This is the box that I've just created, and this is the box. Now let's say I want to change some properties for the same. So let's go around and grab this box. So I'm just gonna say var box, and the ID I've mentioned out there is going to be box. Okay. Now I have this box and I can access the X and Y property, right? Now, depending upon the X and Y property, let's go around and try to change the color of the same. So what I can do, I can just come here and say box dot style dot background color is equals to RGB, or rather let's put it a backtick. Let's say RGB, and in the values of RGB, you are supposed to mention the value of red here, green here and blue here, right? So rather than giving the values like this, let's give the values of x and y rather than this, right? So let's do this. Uh, uh, so this would be the property of let's say the property that I want to give out here. Okay. Or so it should be inside double quotes now. So this value comma this value comma, let's say I give it or rather let's not put it in this way, let's put it in this way rather. So this value comma this value, and let's give this 40, and the value here is going to be, let's say, e dot offset x value. I'm just gonna copy this whole stuff up, copy, I'm gonna paste this, and this is going to be, let's say, offset y, save. I think this should work. Oh, rather you could see out here. Can you see this? Can you see this? Right? ठीक है, इसको थोड़ा सा और चेंज करते हैं इसको. Let's go around and change it a little more. Item listener box पे, और rather हम box पे लगाते हैं add event listener, box dot add event listener, and box पे click करने से better होगा that we can use a property called as mouse over, and this mouse over should work. If I save this, so see, nahi mouse, yeah, wait, can you see this? Can you see this? Or rather than using mouse over, I can use something called as एक property और है, एक property और है हम पे, which is going to be रुक जाओ, mouse over in तो वो तो ठीक है, but let's suppose if I want to, let's say what would be, हम लोग और भी कुछ कर सकते हैं. चलो फिलहाल के लिए let's keep it this way, है ना? Let's keep it this way for a little second. So you can actually go around, and wherever your mouse is going to be hovering over, when you'll enter into the box, you can see that the button is changing. So I hope you got an idea about how this stuff is working out, right? So I hope you got an idea about events, you got an idea about DOM, you got an idea about how to use get element by ID, element by class name, tag name, query selector, all. Then we had to look on events, how to create events, and how to do all of these things. I hope all of these things is clear to everybody. Are we good? Are we good till here? Are we good till here? Sure. How to write navbar using HTML. I'll highly recommend you go back and see the videos on Bootstrap. You'll get the answer. If you'll not, you can ping me up. ठीक है? अच्छा, by using JavaScript के help से हम नहीं कर सकते हैं ऐसा कुछ काम. ठीक है? Tomorrow I'll be telling you few other tips and tricks about JavaScript. Don't worry about that. If you'll be having any problem related to JavaScript, we can put it for tomorrow's session. And tomorrow I'll be telling you how you can create elements using HTML or using JavaScript, and how to put it inside the HTML, and a lot of different things. But as of now, let's keep it this way because there is a lot of time and I have another meeting to attend. So that is why I'm little rushing stuff up. One thing more, if you need the what do you call this, the certificate and stuff, so for that I'm going to pass you out with a feedback form. Fill that feedback form and be honest on your feedback forms, right? Fill that feedback, fill your details, and we'll have to circulate out with your certificate. So the earlier certificate for HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap would be given out to you by either by tomorrow or today evening or maybe tomorrow, right? No, this is another one. This is another one. Oh, it's just passed on to just one person. Let's keep it everyone. हाँ, we'll talk about a lot of things tomorrow. कल हम लोग Ajax करेंगे. I'll be telling you how you can communicate with servers using JavaScript. ठीक है? So tomorrow's session is also going to be interesting. ठीक है? Fill this feedback form, right? Mention out your details and be honest with your feedback, whether you liked it or. Acha, how was the session, by the way? Did you enjoy the session? Oh yeah, GitHub link. I'll give you the GitHub link as well. So GitHub. Yeah. So the GitHub link, let me go to the repository. Let's go to the repository and I'll give you the link. Because I'll tell you what, I have a very limited amount of time. So that is the main issue, right? If I could have like a dedicated session for you people where I'm only talking about DOM for like 2 to 3 days, then I can go actually onto a very in-depth. But only for around like 1.5 hours or two, I can just, this is the maximum that I can give it to you, right? I hope you understand the problem. But yeah, surely, you will get the recordings either by tonight or maybe early tomorrow morning. Don't worry about that. अरे यार मेरे को ना डीएम कर देना, ठीक है ना? जस्ट डीएम मी अप एंड आई विल डू एवरीथिंग, ठीक है? And even if you want more resources, I can give you the links for more resources. You can go around and learn stuff up by your own, and if you get stuck anywhere, you know where to find me up. ठीक है? You can message me up on LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you want. I'll be more than happy to help you out. React तो मैं कराऊंगा, don't worry. I'll tell you how to work on React. React के भी links मैं दे दूंगा आप लोगों को, ठीक है? So when we'll start with React, then I'll give you the links for React as well. Chalo, so are we good? Just give me a, I'll give you the link for DOM traverses as well. DM me up, guys. DM me up because I'm really busy these days. Anyway, so if you're good till here, just give me a big yes. We can end up with the session quickly. I have another meeting to attend up. And do fill that feedback form. The reason is that the certificates would be given to you people depending upon that only, right? So you will have to mention your details and then only we'll right? So chalo, thanks guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed up this session, and we'll meet tomorrow and we'll cover out with the Ajax part, right? I'll tell you how to integrate servers and stuff like that. Chalo, bye bye guys, see you, take care, and see you tomorrow. Chalo, bye bye.